Holy places like churches are considered to be the safest places on earth by many people. Some of them have very interesting histories. Also, there are many churches all over the world that have strange and unusual things displayed in them for the public to see that might make them feel a little bit more creepy and unsafe than being the safest place on earth. Hey, what's happening, FTD fam? Leroy Kenton here. And for this episode, I'm going to be bringing you guys a list of 10 strange church relics that are on public display for anyone to see. We start off at number 10, Our Lady of the Conception. This 17th century church, Santa Maria della Concizione dei Cappuccini, as it's said in the Italian language. Well, I don't speak Italian, but I think I did pretty good, right? It was built by Cardinal Antonio Barberini, who was a Capuchin Franciscan, and he was also Pope Urban VIII's brother. The church was designed by Michel da Bergamo, and the church has several high-profile tombs and paintings, the greatest attraction in the chapels on the lower level. 5 subterranean chapels contain the remains of 4,000 Capuchin friars and the citizens of Rome from the 17th century. These remains are laid out artistically, and for the transport of the remains, it took 300 trips from 1627 to 1631 in carriages filled with bones. From there, we move on to number 9, Basilica of the Holy Cross. Basilica di Santo Croce, as it's said in Italian. The Holy Cross stands on what was part of a residential complex, which was owned by Emperor Constantine. Once it was part of a Caesarean palace owned by Constantine's mother, Helena. Now, the place was built on soil which Helena brought back from the Holy Land, Jerusalem, and the church's basilica was built to have a collection of relics brought back from the Holy Land by Helena. The artifact collections include 3 pieces of the cross, a nail, a segment of the inscription that was posted on the cross, and 2 thorns alleged to be from the crown of thorns. The Chapel of Bones comes up next at number 8. Capello dos Ossos Evora is a small chapel next to the Church of St. Francis in Evora, Portugal. This chapel is decorated with bones. Not only is this chapel's interior covered with skulls and bones, but when you enter the small chapel, you'll see 2 full corpses, one of a woman and one of a child, literally just staring at you. The woman and the child are said to be the victim of a curse who took shelter in the chapel. The chapel also houses 5,000 monks, which are mostly from nearby cemeteries that became way too overcrowded. Number 7 leads us to Basilica of St. Stephen. On the outskirts of Rome and away from the main tourist attractions, there is a church named Church of Santo Stefano Rotondo, which in English is the Basilica of St. Stephen in the Round on the Celian Hill. The church is dedicated to St. Stephen, of course, and it was built on top of an old Roman site of Mithras worship. Now, the thing that makes this church really unique is that it was the first Roman church built with a circular plan. The inner walls have 34 paintings. The paintings are violent and depict very graphic details of evil acts that were inflicted on Christian martyrs. From there, let's look at the monastery of AGHIA MONI at number 6. AGHIA MONI Convent Nafpilo is a beautiful and lesser known complex located outside area in Greece. It is a Greek Orthodox women's retreat under the bishopric of Argolis, and it is famous for the spring that is located on its grounds. The spring is associated with Kanathos, which is a legendary spring from Greek mythology. Continuing this list at number 5, we have the Barberini coat of arms. In Vatican City, there is baldachin altar along with its sculpted bronze canopy known as baldachin. The most notable feature of the altar is 4 plinths decorated with the Barberini family's coat of arms. The 3 bears, which are arranged in a triangle with a woman's head above it. Each coat of arms, arranged 2 to a column, make up a series of 8. And now the woman's expression on each of the series are different. She goes from being happy, going to distressed, and then going all the way to being sad. Now the shield bulges throughout the series until at the end the woman's face is replaced by an angel. Number 4 leads us to a very fascinating and interesting one, SHEELA Nagig of KILPECK. Now, the church is located in England near the Welsh border, and it's a simple 2-cell church built atop an older structure with dozens of elaborate and often outrageous carvings. These carvings are influenced by Celtic styles, and now the adult themed corbel is what the church is very famous for, known as SHEELA Nagig. Now these structures have been found all over England, Ireland, as well as France. And this sculpture depicts a squatting woman displaying her private parts to everyone. It's a very old sculpture and it is said to belong to the earlier chapel of the 12th century. There are male variations of SHEELA Nagig too, some of which are even inside KILPECK Church. Very interesting images to see if you enter a church. From there, let's look at Otranto Cathedral. It was constructed in 1088 and is famous for its floors, which is covered by an amazing work of art called the Tree of Life mosaic. Every square foot of the floor is covered by a mosaic that shows a tree in a style which is similar to a genealogy illustration. Now, if you look at the design from above, you can see the tree branches entering every single room of the cathedral. It also shows the effect of the explosion of mythological and religious concepts which are depicted very amazingly. Number 2 leads us to the Skull Cathedral. It is also the Otranto Cathedral, but this time it's on the list due to another reason. Just off the main altar is the chapel, and the walls of the chapel have the remains of 800 Christian martyrs. The walls of the chapel had the heads of these martyrs behind a glass wall. Yeah, sounds more like a haunted house than a cathedral. And finally, number 1, the SEDLEC Ossuary. It is a small church that has around 40,000 skeletons preserved in it. The church and its cemetery have become overcrowded over the years. Bones have been seen everywhere in the church. Now, the coat of arms is the most impressive display of the Schwarzenberg family. There's also a chandelier of bones in the church, which has almost every bone on the human body in it. Now, there are candle holders in the church as well, which are made of bones, and the walls are lined with skulls. Yeah. Imagine seeing that up close. Alright guys, so that does it for this list. Sound off down below in the comments section which of these were most surprising to you. Let me know down below. If you did enjoy this one, you found it informative, useful, entertaining in any way, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up. And if this is your first time here to the channel, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell. That way you'll be notified of daily videos like this here on FTD Facts. Until next time guys, stay awesome, stay educated, and I'll see you soon.